Hey everyone, this is Shamvi from Designhill and your host for the day. I hope you and your families are doing great and keeping safe. Welcome to yet another session with Designhill, which will help you hone your knowledge and do better in your professional life. So today we will be discussing different lettering compositions with metallic watercolors and pens. Today's event is brought to you by Print Shop by Designhill, a creative print on demand marketplace where you can discover and buy 50 plus unique products, gifts, and artworks created by artists worldwide and globally. So, moving ahead, let me introduce you to our amazing speaker for today. We have with us Kareem. Kareem, he is an elementary school teacher with a master's degree in history of Mexico. He has learned calligraphy by watching his father, who is an experimental calligrapher, doing envelopes from events and other decorative wedding elements. With all the changing world scenario and lockdown globally, Kareem got into the world of lettering, expanding his calligraphy boundaries and learning many more things about the letters. Thank you so much, Kareem, for joining us today for this amazing event. And I'm really, really happy to have you here. Would you like to say a quick hi to our audience? Kareem, you'll have to unmute yourself there. Just a second. Yep.
So now you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your invitation here. I'm so honored and so excited to start.
I am
Let's
myself
do
very,
this.
very excited, very, very excited to have you here. I've looked at your work and your work is good, like really, really good. So thank you so much, Kareem, for joining us today for this amazing, amazing workshop. And great. So before we start the session, guys, here is a big announcement. We are giving away certificates to all the attendees who will be sticking till the end of the session. So you just can't miss this chance, right? So stay tuned till the very end. Also, you can take a screenshot of this event, put it on your Instagram, use Designhill Events, hashtag Designhill Events, tag Designhill DH, tag Typography Designers Club, and Kareem's Instagram handles, which will be in the chat section just in a while. And one lucky winner will have a chance to win a PS gift card worth $50. So having said that, let's quickly look at what Designhill and Print Shop by Designhill is all about. All right, so that was all about Print Shop by Designhill, and now we are all set to start the session. Guys, if you have anything you would like to ask Kareem, do put it in under the questions tab so that the questions don't, get missed from me. And also, we have rolled out a few polls in the poll section, so just don't forget to answer them. So, Kareem, let's begin. The session is over to you, and I cannot see the other camera connected to the event here. I think probably it just got disconnected. Yeah. Yeah, now we can see your setup for today's workshop. So great. So let's begin. And Kareem, you'll have to also unmute yourself so that we can, from here, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, do you hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can. We
Can
can.
I just click the decline on my laptop?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Okay. Okay, well,
All right, so
so
now the session is over to you, Kareem. Go ahead and we will be just expanding this screen for everyone else. Guys, do tell me in the chat section if the screen for you is visible nicely so that you guys can learn your lettering compositions pretty well. And yeah, over to you.
okay, well, before we just like we jump right into this lettering composition, I would like to introduce the materials and supplies that we're going to be using.
Hello. Sorry, Kareem. Sorry to interrupt you here. Probably your voice is breaking. I'm unable to hear you. Yeah. I think probably there's some network issue because we are unable to hear you. Can you mute on? Can you mute the other camera setup and can you go unmute it from your laptop? Yeah, I think probably now we can hear you.
So now you can hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, but
So
I'm
you
hearing
you will
myself.
have yeah,
I'm
you'll have
hearing
to
myself twice.
yeah, you'll have to unmute. You'll have to mute yourself from the other camera.
Okay.
Yeah, now you can. I think now everyone can hear you pretty well here.
Okay, so everyone is now hearing me?
Yes, yes.
Oh
Okay,
my.
all right. So that camera.
Okay. Is it ready? Oh my.
Yes, now it is. Now it is. I'm
Okay,
expanding
well,
the
let's
screen for
continue on
everyone.
this. Okay,
Yes,
let's
please go
continue on
ahead. Over
this.
to you.
I'm going to present you the rest of the supplies that we're going to be using. Um, I chose a brush pen. This is a Tombow N15, a Stabilo fine liner, both like a mechanical pencil and a pencil, two erasers, or you can use just one. A brush. I normally use a liner brush for my lettering processes because it's gonna be like a more comfortable process for me. Um, I chose like two jelly rolls, one like orange and this is like I guess you might say it's red, but it's not. It's not red. It's pinky red. Um, more fine liners, a white ink, and at last but not least, the watercolors. I will give you the link to this. I don't know if they do like international shipping, but I'm just do it anyways, so you can try them out. Okay, so well, moving on to the steps that we're going to take to do this lettering composition, I summarized this process in 7 points, in 7 main points, so that way you can do it like in a simple way. Okay, so now the first thing that you're going to do is to pick your quote and write it down because
Sorry to interrupt you again, Kareem. There is too much of light on your on the paper. Can we lower down the light? Can we lower down on the light tone
okay,
somewhere?
so is it better
Still,
or
no. Still, I cannot see what's written on the paper.
okay? So let me move in. Okay.
I think
Is it better
is
or
it is a little better, but there is too much of light coming from the left hand side.
I, I don't know why is that? Um.
Yeah, now I think it's much better there. The yeah, it's looking much better there.
Okay. Well. So shall we continue?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Well, the first thing that we're gonna do is pick your quote and write it down. I already selected one because mm, it was just comfortable to me, and of course, that message like cut right into my soul. So I decided to do this anyway. So I did I did choose the nobody cares. Nobody cares. Work harder. The nobody cares. Work harder.
Karim, can we switch off the light on your left? So it will be
Okay.
easier. I think it will be better visible. I think if we can switch off the light on your. Yeah, I think this is much better. This is perfect, in fact.
Is it
Please go
better?
ahead. Yeah, yeah.
I think the focus on the camera.
Yeah, and
Oh,
the
okay.
focus, of course, on the focus will be probably autofocus. So
But
you
I
can
don't know
just
how to
click on
do
the
that.
you can just click on the screen on the screen there. It will take its focus. Yeah, there you go. It is focused now. You can just go ahead.
Okay. Okay. The next step is to write our quote down. Nobody nobody cares. Work harder. So now we're gonna pick the most important part of our quote because that way you can choose and you can like you can know whatever the viewers or other people are gonna receive through your message, right? So I think we have like these two things, this passive and this active thing about our quote. The passive one is going to be the nobody cares, and the active one is going to be the work harder. So the work harder part is going to be what we're going to be focused on, but let's let us not forget about the nobody cares part. Um, so moving on to the next tab, select the most important words, and then well, we already did it while we're talking. Uh, that is a work harder part. And then the number three is try to do at least 4 or 5 layouts or designs that you might like about your quote, because that way you can have like plenty different types of designs, so you can choose one from all over the the layouts that you already did. So I thought that the first the first quote is gonna be nobody cares, like in block letters. So that way it's more a passive action. And then the work harder part, it's gonna be with this type of cursive lettering. So it's gonna be like more pop.
Karim, I'm so sorry to interrupt you again, but nothing is visible there due to the light which is coming. There's too much of light. Can we
Is
do
there too much
something?
light?
Yeah, from somewhere in the front it's coming. There's too much of light, so that's the reason that as a viewer I'm unable to see what you're writing on the paper.
I mean, is it too far?
It is, yes, it is a slightly far also, and the light is too much. There's too much of light. It's reflecting.
Okay, I'm gonna t- take my light ring a little bit lower.
Yeah, and can we have the paper slightly towards you,
Uh,
more towards you, the
Is
white.
it clear now?
Yeah, and wherever you're writing, can we have the paper in the middle, like slightly below the paper?
Okay, is it much better?
It is much better. It is much better. Now I can at least read the word work. But there is again a lot of light coming through from somewhere from the front.
Okay, so do I just turn it off and see what?
Yeah, I think if you can try turning that off, probably then it will be a little better visible.
Okay, I'm gonna turn my.
I
Is
think
it
this is much
better?
better. Yeah, I think move your paper towards the other side. The other side, not on the ring side. Ring is very flashy on the paper.
Okay,
No,
is
no,
is it
the
better?
word is not.
No?
No, the word is not visible to me.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn out my light again and
Yeah, yeah.
turn out the light ring. Oh, I can just lower it down a little bit. Is it better?
No, I still cannot read the. Not very visibly clear. Yeah, maybe now we can probably if you're using a pencil, right now.
Yes, I am. A mechanical
Yeah.
pencil.
So probably once we'll start using the colors, then he'll be more better, nicely visible.
Oh, I can use a regular pencil so that way you can like visualize something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
As in
so
comparison, this is much better.
okay, well, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah, now we
I'm
can go
gonna
ahead.
continue.
Sorry, guys. Now we'll start the workshop. Kareem, please over to you now. Now I'm not interrupting anymore.
Okay, don't worry. I'm gonna use my eraser because I did like this something horrible. Okay, so now the nobody cares part was done with block letters, regular block letters, and then the work harder part is going to be done with like regular cursive lettering. Work. Okay, so this is the simplest design, and well, I don't like the part where work harder is because I don't know, it doesn't pop or come out like really good. So I'm gonna try another one. Maybe you can do a circle. Well, It's going to be better if you do it with time and so much space. It's going to be another one inside the first circle. And then the other design, it's going to be like the regular block letters, but the nobody part is going to be on the top. The next one is going to be at the bottom. Nobody cares. And then the work harder part is going to be centered. Okay, is it clear for everyone? Okay, so now moving on to the next design. I decided to do this. Okay, well, thank you so much. I decided to do this horizontally because I was more interested in doing an urban lettering. So this is probably not what you're something. This is not something you're gonna use or see on the streets, but well. And then I'm gonna add the work harder part. The work harder part at the center. And then the next two words that are the nobody cares are going to be one at the top and one at the bottom. But they're going to be like hidden a little. Ah, it's nobody cares. No, nothing. Nobody cares. So do you get to understand what the design is? Okay, so now I'm ready. Okay, and the next one that was one of my most favorite, because I think this kind of looks good, and the next one is probably not the same, but it's similar to this one that was the first one. And then I decided to do this like this hidden letters. Nobody cares. And then the work harder part is going to be in the center. We're trying to do the same type of hand font, like this cursive lettering. So the carriage is going to be like a little bit close to the harder word, but this is like nobody in cares are going to be like hidden up a little bit by the work harder part, so that way you can focus on the work harder, right? So we're taking this to the next step, which is pick your favorite design and take it to to your tracing paper or your regular paper or your regular printer paper. I don't know. Whatever your options might be, those are good to me. But I decided to do this on this dotted notebook. And this dotted notebook, I already did like this, I don't know, one, two, three, the third design, but I didn't like it that much when I took it to the tracing paper. So I'm going to present you a whole new design. A whole new design that was the last one we saw over here, which is the Nobody in Cares on block letters, and the work harder part with cursive lettering inside the Nobody in Cares hidden. Okay, so we're going to use our ruler so that way we can do this 2 lines. We're going to do 4. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to do 4 because there are 2 words separated by this gap. Okay, so now we're doing our letters with the size of 8 spaces. So we're writing like basic cursive lettering, work, the work. Okay, now we can do it better as we're continuing. The next word is harder. When you're doing like cursive lettering, usually you have to have another line over here so that way your letters can be all the same sized. But I didn't want to do this because I have this advanced version, so you can see it later on. Okay, the work harder. And then Well, you have to do more like embellishments and something to make it like aesthetic and good looking to the viewers and for you, most important. So we're gonna place our nobody cares, and then we have to count all of the letters that compose the nobody word is composed by. So one, two, three, four, five, and six. So we're gonna do like just this nobody, the nobody hidden behind this work harder part. Um, I'm gonna count all the spots over here. Mm. And then we have to divide it by the number of letters that we have. But as this is just a way to present how this design is going to be, I'm going to do it like just like more like a draft, and then I'm going to present you the final design on the tracing paper, right? Oh, so you're back. I'm going to do the N. The letters are going to be like slim, and they're not going to be finished because the purpose of this is to be for those to be like hidden under the work harder part. Okay, so now we're moving on to the O. At this point of your composition, you can do whatever modifications or editing or anything that you want to make it look good. I'm going to do this curve. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Okay. So as I said before, the letters are not going to be finished because they're going to look under the most important part. Nobody. And then I'm going to do this like so slim, as I said. And of course, you can do it with your own eyes. I mean, it's just block letters, simple block letters. They're all the same width, and you can do it just like you want. The base shape of the block letters, it's gonna be like an oval, and well, you can do just like two lines, two separate lines, and then you can add just a curve or any curves that you want, so that way they're more like look like to the others. Me parece que es horrible. Okay, so now you can just go on like doing this nobody part. But the thing that I want to be focused on is on your cursive lettering because it's the hardest one. The block letters are gonna be like a cup of tea, right? And then so basic strokes of calligraphy are what we call like thick and thin strokes. When you go like downwards, you do this like thick, this thick, and then you have to do it before you do your design on your tracing paper because tracing paper is going to be almost the last version of your whole design. So you have to thicken up your downstrokes. When you're doing brush calligraphy, this process is so much easier, but hand lettering and brush calligraphy or brush lettering, as it as you might be calling it, there is no need to be put this concept to one to another. So you have to thicken up your downstrokes. So this upstroke, because you're doing this W, like this is upstroke, this is a downstroke. That's why it's thicker than this. This is an upstroke and it's gonna be thin. And then the next one is gonna be thick. You have to look if all of your letters have the same thickness because it's gonna be like consistency. One of the main parts that you have to be focused on when you do a lettering composition is that the spacing and the consistency is completely right to all of your letters. So this is an upstroke. We're doing like this. This upstroke, well, it gets in the middle of the wave that B is. So if you're not doing this like precising on the nobody cares, we have to make this work harder, more relevant. So we're gonna erase around this upstroke. So at the end, you're gonna be watching this, how this can look like a sticker, and this can make it pop like a little. So moving on to the next letter, which is an O. This is the downstroke. This is the downstroke, an upstroke. I simply don't like the transition between the O and the R. I did it just the way you look at it because well, people like to do this cursive lettering with those loops and that stuff. But personally, I don't like the transition between the O and the R, so I prefer not to do it. But that is my personal opinion. So this is up to you if you're gonna do it like all length. That's all. So some lettering artists like to do their R like with this loop. So we're doing it, this loop, but separated the R from the O. And then we're gonna use the downstrokes to make it thicker. And then this is a downstroke too. Okay, so moving on to the K. This is a downstroke. We're gonna be picking it up a little. This is also a downstroke, but this is more like a neutral downstrokes. So I'm gonna do it like a little bit thicker, but not too much. You can do it your K just the way it is, or you can do it just like an R with this this downstroke like a little bit larger. And then we have to do this downstrokes like a little bit thicker. It's going to be this one and this one. The A is going to be this way. The R is just this way. The D, the A has this thicker back, and the R again. So the carriage part is going to be at the bottom, but the nobody part wasn't finished, and this is going to look like it hasn't been started. So the carriage part is going to be center, and then the A. And as you know now, these are going to be block letters. The O, the D, the Y. All block letters, all the same width, but I did bring you the design on tracing paper.
So sorry, Kareem, again interrupting you in the middle here. I would just say that this is such a amazing workshop which is happening, and I'm loving the session. And before we move forward, I would just like to give a quick shout out to Print Shop by Designhill, a world's leading creative marketplace, for organizing this event. And I hope everyone is enjoying this session, and because I am personally, yes, enjoying this amazing session. And I hope everyone is also taking a screenshot of this event, tagging Kareem on Instagram and Designhill DH and Typography Designers Club on Instagram, so that we know that who all have really looked at the workshop session. So, all right, let's take a quick break, Kareem, there in the middle, and it will just take us 2 minutes to be back. So stay tuned, everyone, and yeah, we'll be back to hear more from Kareem in next 1.5 minutes.
I've always been creative and always been an artist. As a young girl, I used to paint rocks and I used to sell them for a quarter on the street. And I just fell in love with it. It just grew into a passion of mine. I started looking on the web and I came across Designhill, and they had a design contest to design a logo, and I entered it and I won. And I was like, oh, this is really great. I can pick and choose what type of logos or design projects I want to work on. And it allows me to be creative, keep my hands, with my tools and working. So it's kind of nice. It's really easy to use. You can scroll through the projects and there's sections that you could go by. It's really easy. There's a few clients who have come back to use the one-on-one projects. There's one client in particular, she owns a vintage shop, and I designed her logo, and she came back. She needed a design for a flyer, and she really liked the illustrations that I did for her, so she came back a couple of times with projects. I would recommend it, especially if you're a designer that's starting out and you want to learn from other designers, seasoned designers. It's a place to keep in the game and keep using your tools. It makes me feel great, and it kind of confirms that I should be doing this. And I love to see logos that I've designed out, and proud of that. And I think that the clients are so happy that their logo represents what they do and makes them look good. It's a collaboration. It's good for me, and it's definitely good for them.
All right, so we are back again with our awesome guest Kareem here. Guys, thank you so much for just staying there on the event. And Kareem, there are questions pouring in the questions tab for us, and I would just probably take up a couple of questions from there. So there you go, it's on your screen. Can you draw an upstroke? I want to see the difference between the two. Kareem, you're on mute. Not there, not then. The laptop, yeah, right
Okay.
there, right.
Can I hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I
Okay.
can.
This is the tracing paper design, and I'm gonna explain you which one of the letter Y is the downstroke, which is this one. Because when you're tracing your W, you start this way, and then you go down, and then this is the downstroke. And you're gonna be doing this like thicker than the other ones. And then when you go down, you have to go up. This is an upstroke, right? And then again, like following the curves of the W letter, it's going to be another downstroke. Normally I do this like, and then I add the thickness to it. And then, as I said, when you go down, you have to go up again. And that's why I was telling you this about the B and the W. So you don't damage your work harder. And then when you have your design, the design you chose on tracing paper, you're going to take it to the mixed media or cardstock, and that leads you to the fifth point, the tracing part. And I already said about the upstrokes and the downstrokes. You can use a watercolor or mixed media or even a cardstock, but a thick cardstock, a high quality cardstock that can load the water that comes from the watercolor paint that you're using. So I did this on watercolor paper. It's totally the same design I chose. And then you're gonna have to apply your color. I decided to use this watercolors, this set. This is a tropical fruits design. Um, I'm gonna show the link to this watercolor paints, so that way you can have them and you can try them out if you want. So, okay, this is the Perla de Mar. That's the name of them. Watercolors. Apply them now. So now you have the link to their Instagram profile, but that you don't have like this Shopify or something. So you have to contact them by direct message. So now we have to paint, put our paint to on our design, and we have to add like 1 or 2 drops of water to the color that we're going to be using. I decided to use this lime green, and we have to let it sit for 1 or 2 minutes. But while we're doing this kind of block letters, so you're going to do it like so easy. You're going to be repeating the traces that you did. Sometimes lettering artists recommend to erase a little bit, but it's going to be like so painted on, so you don't have to do it. So now you're going to use this black fine liner from Stabilo. And you can use your ruler, so that way you can have your straight lines and all clean. And then you're going to use your Tombow to fill in your letters. Of course, I'm doing this like running out of time, but you can take your time while you're at home, and that's tough. And then you're gonna use your Tombow, but not the brush tip, because you know, as you may know, the Tombows have like 2 tips: the brush tips and the fine tip. We're gonna be using the finer one because we're gonna fill in our letters. So that way until you're completely done, right? And we're gonna leave it just like that, because we don't want to be focused on the nobody cares, but we have to do it anyway. So we're gonna take our brush, and that way you can start painting. So now, as you can see, the watercolor is completely ready. You have to let it sit, because the gum arabic is going to be like activated, so that way they can stick to the watercolor paper. And then you're just painting on your letters. You can do as many layers as you want. I prefer to do it like like thick. We have to, you have like the plenty of liberty that you want. I'm gonna use my eraser because these lines are like so dark. You have to be very careful because the eraser can stick to the watercolor because it's still wet. And then you're gonna be painting your W, as I said, with so much caution. I did this stroke like very thick because I like my letters to be like too thick when they start, especially if they are the part that will be focused on. So I'm gonna erase my W as I'm going. Being very careful that again that the eraser doesn't stick to the watercolor part. Now you can add a little bit of thickness to your upstrokes because I don't like them to be like a hairline. Because when you apply your outline, it's gonna be like too weird or something. So I'm painting the W and I'm adding like thickness to my upstrokes, even though that the upstrokes are gonna be like thin. But as I said, I don't want them to be like hairlines because I want them to be noticed. So I did it just the way I traced them, but I'm adding a little bit of thickness up here. So the thing with watercolors is that you can, as I said, you can do as many layers as you want because it's going to be a solid color and it's going to be like shinier. Maybe you can do it like 2 times the size they were before. And as we wait, because this is just going to be an example, we're doing it with the C. I'm not going to be painting until I reach this line because I can regret it later. Which is a downstroke? This is a stroke. I already did it.
So since we are bounded with time, Kareem, I would also be taking up questions right in the middle. So there is a question which have come from Kesha. That's on your screen also. Have you
Okay.
ever have you ever mixed your own color pigments?
Have you ever mixed your color pigments? Well, I haven't. I'm like not that good at blending watercolors or even pens, so I don't blend my watercolors ever. I I kind of did it once, but I don't like it that much.
All right, all right. Keisha, you can try out our other previous events also where you can learn down the mixing and the blending of colors. Here we are talking about the lettering, the beautiful lettering composition which Karim has made. Karim, everyone has become a fan for your
Definitely.
Instagram page. They love your Instagram page, and even I do. So great work there, Karim.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I wasn't able to see anything, and I was like, what the hell is happening? Okay, so now we're doing this outline. I'm just doing this a little bit so that way I can present you the final version. You're doing it just like the way it is. I chose the lightest orange of them all. Oh, okay. I chose like this pinky red and this orange. I'm gonna do the outline to all of the letters, and then you have to do the shadowing. So where to put our shadows. Let's suppose that the light is coming from this way, and if this is coming from the left and at the top of our letters, the shadow is going to come to the right and at the bottom of our letters. So when you do this outline, we're going to be adding another line of the next color, which is the pinky red. Look, this is like pink. Oh, maybe you don't see it, but it's like pink. So we're just working like too fast because the jelly rolls are archival ink, and you can use your brush. You can use your brush and then do a slide and a soft blend. So that way you can do an orange outline along with a pinky red shadow. Then you can also thicken up a little bit, and then moving on to the final design. This is supposed to be just like this. So as you can see, the outline comes all of the way around our letters, and then I added this pinky red that is just where the shadows are supposed to be, like at the bottom of our trace, at the right of the letter, or the trace, or the downstroke, to the right of the downstroke, to the right of the downstroke again, and then to the right. And then you have to repeat your process until you're done. But as you can see, I didn't finish my letters up here because I left a blank space around, so that way you can know that it's more or less sticker printed, the work harder part. I just did my nobody cares with this fine point, and then with this fine liner. So it's not like a hard
What a
work
beautiful
or
composition here,
something
Karim.
about.
This looks so pretty. This looks so pretty. I am like really, really flat on this. This is looking very, very nice.
Also, now do you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear
I'm
you.
sorry, I didn't catch that because I was like having a problem with my connection.
So I said that the composition, the lettering composition which you have come up with, it looks so pretty. The color combinations, the entire composition looks so pretty. This is indeed a
Thank
beautiful
you so
one.
much. Thank you so much.
Really, really nice. All right, so let's take up a few questions here since we are bounded with time also, and our
There's a
one
problem
hour
with my
is
connection
already.
again. I can hear anything.
Can you hear? Can you hear me, Kareem?
Oh, now I can hear you.
You can. All right. So we'll be taking up questions. Let's start with some questions here. Since we are bounded with time and your composition looks so pretty, I just don't want to take off my eyes there. Let's start with the questions. There are so many questions pouring in the questions tab.
Okay, so do we have to read?
Yeah. So
The
there,
questions on the
one is on your screen there. Which handmade watercolor you prefer for beginners?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Which handmade watercolor you prefer for beginners?
For beginners, well, these are like for beginners or even for professional lettering artists or watercolor artists. They can, but these are not certainly the most affordable option. The most affordable option to it's like the metallic ones because these are like so shimmery watercolors that I don't know, the metallic ones are like cheaper, so yeah, so you can learn with them. These kind of like watercolor half pants are like the cheapest of them all, and this could be my recommendation.
Great, great. All right, Ganyan, I hope you got your question answer. There is another one, another question in the questions tab, which is saying, what is the difference between character distance and margins? Character distance and margins.
Questions. Okay. I didn't know there was a question tab. I'm sorry.
No problem, Kareem.
I'm sorry.
The question is actually on a pop-up on your screen.
Okay. Are we going to make our output? Which color is better to use for a shadow? Um, the best color for, at least for me, is the gray one.
Yes.
Where is the difference between character distance
Yeah.
and margins? Well, spacing and consistency along with your margins are going to be, well, your margins are going to be the ones that are going to be leading how big or how small or your letters are going to be. And the distance, I mean, I don't know if you mean like the spacing between the letters, but you have
I think
to,
that's what he's talking about, the spacing between the letters.
yeah, well, the spacing is also a very important thing because, well, you don't want them to be like pushed up against the other letter because you have to, well, there's a like this lines that you can do for I don't know, improving your lettering, and these are this almost horizontally like diagonal, and then you can do it like this, so that way you can use this space to do your letters, but you have to go on with the space that you're seeing over here, so that way you can place your letter on another one.
Right.
So you can use an A, or you can do a D. It depends on how separating or how separated you want your letters to be, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. There is another question which I feel is very interesting here. Is it possible to use broad pencil pen directly to the text?
Is it possible to use, I didn't get that.
Broad pencil pen directly to the text. I think probably he's talking about if we can directly use
Oh,
broadly pen.
Propento directly to the text.
Yeah,
I mean, the Crayola ones? Oh no, the Pentel.
the pen, I
Okay.
guess.
Yeah, well, you can do like calligraphy direct to your design, but I won't recommend it like that much, because when you're doing hand lettering,
Yeah,
the first thing that you're going to do is to check the spaces or the spacing between your letters. And
right.
if you happen to do this like this trace like so thick, because you cannot control, like for example, like a tumbo. The tumbo tip is like so big that this downstroke is of course not made with a tumbo, because the tumbo is the the most thickness of the tumbo is like so thick.
True. So, so Kareem, I would be taking up a couple of questions just on general life questions, which is, what do you think makes you sure about choosing this lettering field and making it your career?
Um, I don't know. I just chose lettering as a therapy during the lockdown, because as I said when we were like just chatting before this, I was like a calligraphy enthusiast before being a lettering enthusiast, but both fields are like very alike. And I decided to do this because letters have like this character to it. You can communicate a message through your letters, and it's a part of like an art career that I always wanted to be following, because I'm always like into books and to improving my teaching, but I wanted to do something like artistically. So I decided to do this. Lettering path was the right for me.
All right. So, all right. So this brings us to an end of this wonderful workshop with you, Kareem. And this was indeed a very, very insightful and a value packed session for me and for all the attendees who have attended this event. What a beautiful composition you have come up with. It looks so beautiful to your to my I'm just so happy to see this. It just brings smile on my
Mhm.
face. I hope
Well,
everyone
thank you so
else,
much.
that's my pleasure. I hope everyone else who have attended this event has enjoyed this to the core like I did. I would like to thank you, Kareem, for taking out time to be a part of this event, and just so much. So thank you to you. So any last thoughts, any last suggestions you want to give to our attendees related to anything, say courses or lettering compositions or anything you would like to?
Um, I would like to thank everyone for joining me on this. Thank you thank you to the Design Hill team for inviting me. It was an honor, and nothing more to be grateful for than appreciating this invitation.
Thank you so much, Kareem. Very happy to have you around. All right, guys. So this is not where it ends. We have a lot more events lined up for you in the coming days. So if you guys are interested and haven't registered yet, my colleague Robin is putting the link of the event section in our chat section. Please go and check out our upcoming events and register. You can also subscribe to our events page and stay updated on all our upcoming events. Also, do check out our Learn page to feed your inspiration and creativity, multiply your business and creative growth 10 times by learning tips, hacks, growth stories, expert advices from industry's best. Visit Designhill's Learn page and don't forget to subscribe there. On that note, I would like to say a bye to everyone who joined us today for this event, and thank you so much, Kareem, for joining us today on this event. Very happy to have you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
your
everyone.
invitation.